Oh, it's just Jord.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Little Nightmares theory video. But wait, there's a plot twist to this theory. As you may have noticed from the title of the video, this is a fan theory. And if you want to include your own theory and etc, and get it on maybe the channel in the future, stay tuned to the end of the video to find out how. But anyway, with that being said, in today's fan theory, made by the Flying Dutchman, we are going to be sharing his theory about SIXS' delivery to the mall. The Flying Dutchman did share with us that this theory does bring many questions to the table, and I think this could be an excellent talking point down in the comments below. So, to begin the theory, the Flying Dutchman believes it's fair to assume that SIXS was brought onto the mall as she wakes up in the suitcase, and the official Little Nightmares website states that she does not belong there. Now, we have to mention another theory video I did, which was amazingly named Behind the Door Theory, because I'm so creative in that aspect. Anyway, in this theory I pointed out that the mysterious figure behind the window was the wax Boatman, and in this I pointed out how this may be because of the red shade on the object, as being one of my main points. The Flying Dutchman points out in this theory that if that one is true, it would make a lot of sense, as the Boatman is supposed to make sure the suitcases are brought to the hotel room. This makes him part of the mission as an accomplice in the eventual death of the lady, as well as the ferryman who brought SIXS on to the moor within the suitcase. This is where the hangman makes an appearance. He was not involved in SIXS' delivery. The lady, of course, already had caught wind of the plan being set up under her nose, so she would make sure that the transaction of SIXS between the ferryman and the Boatman wouldn't ever take place, whatever the cost. The lady wasn't planning on leaving just yet. Somewhere around the transaction, more than likely before, the Boatman was making his way to the ferryman to retrieve the suitcase with SIXS in it. Assuming he came from the right, he stumbled upon the soon-to-be hanging man. No one could know of the mission, so he had to get rid of him. In the end, he was murdered. He was hung from the ledge right before the ferryman and SIXS arrived. If he had stayed alive, he would have told the lady about SIXS' arrival. So why does the Flying Dutchman think he was killed in this way? When you hang someone, it comes with a lot of advantages in this case. First off, it's silent. No one would be able to notice that someone had been murdered, and second, it's easily distinguishable as suicide. It even managed to fool the entire community. But when I did my theory video about the hanging man being murdered due to his chair and the placement of the chair, it starts to make more sense to the Flying Dutchman. The Boatman had tried to cover up the scene, but he did it rather sloppily. He did it hastily because he knew someone was after him, and he met his inevitable fate anyway. But more on that later from the Flying Dutchman. The Boatman was there to make sure SIXS would be able to wake up without being disturbed. In my theory, I pointed out that the hangman was undergoing rigor mortis, and that he was killed in the space of around 3 to 12 hours prior of SIXS discovering the body. Probably as long as SIXS' nap time, the Flying Dutchman points out, which yet again fits together. As the Flying Dutchman said, the fate of the Boatman had already been sealed. The lady eventually found out that the Boatman's role in all this, and that he was one responsible for the death of the man, so she gave him a taste of his own medicine. What happened to him afterwards can be seen on the lady's many pictures on the wall in her quarters. Why is it hung up specifically there? The Flying Dutchman doesn't know. Maybe it was a warning for SIXS, as if to say, if you decide to go through with this, you'll meet the same fate as him. Just like pirates and other criminals used to be put in cages just to be abandoned to rage and decay. And this would serve as a warning to any of those people trying to either come into an island or take any possessions like that. But if you need any more evidence of this visual metaphor, look no further than crucifixions, as usually they have this purpose as well. That's why they're performed on high heels, as if to say, do not test our authority. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think of the Flying Dutchman's Little Nightmares theory? Personally, I love the theory. I think it ties in well with all the events that took place, and it has a great fresh way of looking at the story with the hangman and Wax Bowman and the ferryman. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to let the Flying Dutchman know what you think of his theory in the comments below, and be sure to tell me what you think about these fan theory videos. If you think they're a good idea or a bad idea, let me know in the comments below. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, you want to know how to get your theory into this type of video, all you've got to do is make sure you join the ItsJustJord Discord, and there's a separate channel directly for theories. And I mean, if you don't have Discord for somewhat reasons, you can always just post them in the comments, but I will be looking directly at this Discord for them. So who knows, maybe your theory video could be on this next video. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank the Flying Dutchman for his theory, and if you want to check him out, I have the links to his accounts and stuff posted in the description of the video. So if you want to go check him out, ask a few questions maybe about the theory, you just go to the links and you'll find him. But anyway, guys and gals, thank you for supporting the channel, and if you want to support it even further, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and don't forget, if you want to support the channel even further, make sure you hit the join button below. This way you'll get exclusive perks and access to many other things. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for your time, and I will see you all in the next theory video.